Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In this video, we'll solve some of the most important questions related to ASME Section 9. These questions are often asked in interviews. So friends, before starting this video, let me give you a brief introduction of myself. My name is Sandeep Anand. I am a mechanical engineer and I am having 14 plus years of working experience, and my hobby is to share my knowledge, and I share my knowledge through my website, and my website name is www.weldingandandt.com, and the second mode through which I share my knowledge is my YouTube channel, and my YouTube channel name is youtube.com/weldingandandt. So, friends, if you want to support my initiative financially, you can do by joining my channel. See, after subscribing my channel, you'll see a join icon, and by pressing that join icon and by paying a very small amount, you can support my initiative financially. So friends, let's start with our today's video. Our first question is, in which position a welder can weld in groove welds if he is qualified in 4G position? So this is very common question, and many times it is asked that if a welder is qualified in a particular position, can he weld other positions? So we'll understood this by our question number one. So in this question, the question is saying that the welder is qualified in 4G position. Now, in which of the following position the welder can weld? In plate and pipe over dia 24 inches. So to understand this, we need to refer ASME Section 9 QW 461.9. So in table QW 461.9, all these things are given very clearly. Means in what position a welder can weld if he has qualified in any particular position. So if you'll go to table QW 461.9, all your doubts will be solved, or all your doubts will be answered if you look at the table QW 461.9. Now for this question, if you'll come to these questions, if the welder is qualified in 4G position, then he can weld in flat and overhead position. Now I'll show you uh, this. Actually, I have not taken the entire table because that is a copyright material and I cannot copy the table from ASME section 9, but I have mentioned the summary. This is a summary of table QW 461.9, and this is not entire table, but I have taken only the groove welding part only. In table QW 461, you have groove and fillet both, but here I have only taken the groove weld positions. So now see, our question is the welder is qualified in 4G position. So in what position he can weld? If a welder is qualified in 4G position, he will be able to weld in flat and overhead position. F and O. F means flat and O is overhead position. Now see the subject or heading of this column. This is plate and pipe having diameter 610 mm or 24 inch or more. So our question was, in which position a welder can weld in groove welds in plate and pipe over 24-inch dia. So for that, we'll refer this column, that is plate and pipe having OD 610 mm or more. So if a welder is qualified in 4G position, he will be able to weld in flat and overhead position only. Hence our answer number 2 is the correct one. Now we'll go to the question number 2. A welder is qualified in 3F and 4F position. So basically 3F and 4F position is it is for fillet welding, and 3F is vertical fillet weld and 4F is overhead fillet welding. So basically the welder is qualified in fillet welding, and now the question is, in which of the following groove welds position he can weld? So if a welder is qualified in fillet position, then he can weld only fillet welding. He will not be able to weld in any of the groove welding positions. Hence the answer is none of the above. And for this, for this question also you will have to refer table QW 461.9. See, as I told you, this is not the entire table. This is only I have taken for group positions. For fillet also you will have to refer table QW 461.9. So friends, if you'll go to ASME Section 9 QW 461.9, you'll be able to recognize that a welder qualified in 3F and 4F position for plate fillet weld is not qualified to perform groove weld, means he will not be able to perform any groove welding. Hence option 4, that is none of the above, is the correct answer. Now question number 3, when a tensile test specimen breaks in the base metal outside of the weld or fusion line, the ultimate tensile strength, that is UTS, recorded may be at the most how much below the specified tensile strength to be accepted as per ASME Section 9. So friends, if your tensile test specimen has broke outside the weld, then minimum, that is 5%, you can go up to 5% from the minimum specified tensile strength, means up to 5% below minimum tensile strength will be acceptable if the specimen has broken, or if the specimen has broke outside the welding zone. So this is given in QW 153.1D. In this para, it has explained that if the specimen fractures in the base metal outside of the weld zone, you have to remember that it has, if it has break outside of the weld zone, then only you can go 5% below the minimum tensile strength to accept that specimen. Now question number 4, the acceptance criteria for radiography test of welder qualification test can be found in which of the following ASME codes? So for acceptance criteria of any welder qualification test, you will need to refer ASME Section 9. In ASME Section 9, they have mentioned the acceptance criteria for welder qualification test. Please remember that in ASME Section 9, you will only find the acceptance criteria for welder qualification test, not for the job. For job, you will have to refer the construction code. Like if you are manufacturing pressure vessel, then acceptance criteria for pressure vessel will be found in ASME Section 8 Division 1. But for welder qualification test, this is universal, means for any irrespective of your construction code, you will have to refer ASME Section 9 for welder qualification test acceptance criteria. So option 1 is the correct answer, and this is given, the particular, if you will talk about the radiography test, it is given in QW 191.1.2. Now, our question number 5. Question number 5 is asking if a WPS was qualified under 1965 edition of ASME Section 9, can it still be used today? So many inspectors are very confused. Means if you see a very old WPS, and will it be applicable in 2024 or in next year? So this is a very, very confusing questions for most of the inspectors. So friends, any WPS which has been qualified to any previous ASME code will remain valid. So our option 1 will be the correct answer. Yes, it remains valid. And why it remains valid? For this, you need to go to ASME Section 9 QG 108. QG is general, and it applies to welding, brazing, and plastic fusing. So for all material joining process, this remains valid. Yes, it remains valid as per QG 108 of ASME Section 9. Any performance qualification established in accordance with earlier editions of this section, that is any qualifications made with any of the earlier edition of ASME Section 9 may be utilized for any construction code where the current edition has been specified. But you cannot go for a new procedure qualification test with previous edit previous edition. Means old qualified WPS can be used, but if you have to qualify a new WPS, then you will have to refer the latest edition. But if it has already been qualified, then you can use forever. So friends, our question number 6 is, if a welder was qualified in SMAW process, SMAW is shielded metal arc welding, on January 1, 2023 and last performed welding with SMAW on March 30, 2023. Will he still be qualified on October 15, 2024? Option 1 is yes, option 2 is no, option 3 is yes but with close monitoring, and option 4 is yes but only for non-critical jobs first. So in ASME Section 9, they have very clearly mentioned that there should not be a gap of 6 months from the last welding. And here, if you see, the welder has done the welding last, he has performed the welding on 30th March of 2023. Means if you will add 6 months in 30 March 2023, then adding 6 months, it will be September 2023. So before September 2023, if he had done welding, then only he could have been qualified for October 15, 2024. But he has last performed that welding on March. Hence, after September 2023 he will be disqualified. Hence the option 2 will be the correct one here. And this is found in QW 322.1. In QW 322.1, they have very clearly written that a welder's qualification is valid for 6 months from the time they last, please remember this word, from the time they last performed the welding. So from the time last they performed the welding, that will be calculated, and 6 months from that, and that will be the last time with that process. In this case, since the welder last welded with SMAW on March 30, 2023, their qualification would have expired on September 30, 2023. Therefore, on October 15, 2024, the welder would no longer be considered qualified for SMAW process. Hence, the welder would need to pass a new welder qualification test or a retest will be required. So friends, with this we have come to end of our today's video. Please give your valuable feedback and suggestions. Thank you very much.